Hello and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. I'm your host, Hilmarie Hutchison, and today's guest is redefining luxury travel by transforming it into something deeply personal and profoundly meaningful. Abhishek Dadlani is the founder of Lush Escapes, a global bespoke travel brand that crafts extraordinary journeys for ultra high net worth individuals. But this isn't just about luxury, it's about curating experiences that leave a lasting emotional imprint. From private island buyouts to once-a-lifetime cultural encounters, Abhishek's vision blends opulence with authenticity and purpose. Abhishek, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me.
So Abhishek, let's start at the beginning. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and what inspired you to create Lush Escapes?
Absolutely. Interestingly, I didn't start my career in travel. I was actually a banker by profession, but my heart was always elsewhere. Growing up, I was always obsessed with maps and flight paths. In fact, I wanted to be a pilot. And geography wasn't just a subject for me, it was a portal to the world. Even during my banking years, I found myself constantly seeking out new cultures, hidden corners of the world, and meaningful experiences that stirred something deeper. What I noticed over time was that while luxury travel was expanding, it was starting to lose its soul. It became more about amenities and less about emotional richness. And hence, Lush Escapes was born. Out of this realization and a quiet rebellion, in a way, I wanted to bring back the wonder to design journeys that not just speak about where you're going, but to who you are and when you actually get there, what you derive from it. So every trip that was curated was to be rooted in the philosophy to bring out the best in oneself and to migrate a person from actually having visited a place to get more in depth with the dazzle and the meaning over the mere movement of people from going from point A to point B.
Clearly, Lush Escapes isn't a typical travel company. You mentioned words like meaning, transformation. You're positioning it as a curator of transformative journeys. What does that mean? Can you explain that to our audience and how does this come to life for your clients?
So, to me, transformative means the journey doesn't end up when the trip does, as I had said before, right, in your preceding question. So, we curate experiences that shift perspective, open hearts, and stay with our clients long after they have returned home. Whether it's a silent retreat in Bhutan or a legacy journey with 3 generations in Kyoto, we don't just design logistics. We design moments of presence, connection, and self discovery.
Incredible. So it sounds quite different from the normal kind of experience of just going to see something or going to a place. As you say, it's not just about moving people from one place to another. There's a lot more involved. What was it that drove you to want to create these transformational experiences rather than just a luxury experience?
What we gathered when we were, seeing this need gap within the luxury travel space is that, most of the travel curators or travel designers, they were not listening. They were only putting pen to paper with what they felt was right for the discerning traveler. We took a step back and we wanted to start with self discovery. So we started by listening and we started by curating every journey by beginning with a discussion or a conversation, not about where they wanted to go, but why. We deep dived into who our clients were, what moved them, and how they wanted to feel after the holiday. From there, we wanted to co create. So, whether it's a private island buyout, like you rightly said at the beginning of your episode, or a simple movement of local immersion, every detail for us was intentional. And that's how we made sure that every trip feels or felt like as it was just made for you, because that is the value proposition that we brought to the table.
Sounds excellent. Can you maybe share an experience or share some unforgettable itineraries that you have designed and what made them special?
Yeah, so there are so many to choose from, but because of paucity of time, I have picked one for you. one thing which comes to my mind, and this is something that we had recently did for a family who wanted to actually go to Japan on a cultural immersion. And we curated a private family getaway for them, reconnecting multi generations of the family living across four continents to get on board and to do a vacation which was not only about self discovery, but also about healing, bonding, and rediscovering the relationship that existed between them. So we crafted a 12-day experience starting in Kyoto with traditional tea ceremonies and temple blessings by a Buddhist monk, followed by a countryside immersion in a private onsen retreat, and ended the trip in Tokyo with a surprise rooftop dinner under the city lights. This may sound a little bit cliched, but every experience that we actually honed for these individuals was prepared in conjunction to their desires and what they would want to harness after the end of the trip, which was clearly an impetus on the bond that they wanted to rebuild after living away from each other for so many years. And the highlight of the trip was that one evening we arranged a private calligraphy session with each member who wrote their intention for the year without planning it. And those words became the theme of the final night together. The emotional weight of that moment, especially in such a deeply respectful culture, was unforgettable. That's the kind of travel we believe in, where memories meet meaning. And the essence of all of this is that it was so mesmerizing for these guests that when they actually put their thoughts on paper, almost all of their thought matched with each other and resembled, what they had as the vision for themselves to achieve at the end of the year, which was nothing but peace, love, and harmony to coexist between the family members. So that's one of the examples that I would like to share with your clients. And I think it was really soul searching.
It sounds amazing how you're balancing all the different aspects of a trip like that. Of course, it is a luxury experience, exclusivity, but also bringing out the meaning behind it. I love that. The travel industry has changed quite dramatically over the past few years, especially since the COVID pandemic. What trends are you seeing among ultra high net worth travelers post pandemic?
Definitely, the discerning or the avid travelers are moving away from the materialism that existed at the core of luxury travel. And they want the luxury travel to be more intentional, and they want that travel to be more experience driven. So, we are seeing a lot of uptake on elements such as silent travel, wherein people really want to, move away from the digital world, so to say, and be amidst their own selves or amidst the members of the family who they are traveling with and attain peace, solace, as well as elements which will help them revive their soul. So, that for us has become the pinnacle of luxury travel. And it again embodies with the ethos of how we started this entire journey a couple of decades ago. I hope that answers your question. It's really, really pinning down on the essence of who you are versus where you're going.
Excellent. I know that in addition to the things you've mentioned, creating experiences that have meaning, that shifts perspectives, what's also important to you, and you're a strong advocate for, is sustainability and culturally conscious travel. How does Lush Escapes incorporate these values into its experiences?
So at Lush Escapes, we view sustainability not as a checklist, but as a form of reverence. Reverence for the land, for the people who call it home, and for the stories that have shaped it. Every journey we design is rooted in this quiet responsibility to tread lightly, engage meaningfully, and leave a positive imprint long after our guests have gone. We consciously move away from mass tourism footprints and instead collaborate with local artisans, family run lodges, conservationists, and cultural custodians. From the properties we choose to pace, we recommend every detail that we curate is deliberately a mix of elements which support the ecosystems, both environmentally and for the human. And for us, luxury is not about the access, it's about consciousness. It's about creating moments that are beautiful because they are respectful. That's the future of travel, I feel. And it's a future we are proud to shape.
Excellent. Sounds really, really good. It's not easy to start and run a business. And as you say, you've had your business going for some time now. What have been some of the challenges you faced with scaling a business and a brand like Lush Escapes? And how have you overcome them?
A great question. With every business and the scale, when it achieves, encounters some challenges. For us, one of the greatest challenges has been protecting the soul of the brand as we grow. At Lush Escapes, intimacy isn't just a service standard, it's the essence of who we are. So, scaling without becoming formulaic or following a trend has required us to move with intention. So, we have not invested in just our processes, but also our people who are at the heart of our business. So, whether it is training our team to lead with empathy, cultural fluency, or emotional intelligence. And each of these challenges has been met with the groundbreaking realities of how world is transforming day by day. Another challenge has been redefining what luxury means. It's easy to fall into the cliches, right? And luxury is relative. So, be it gold taps, be it VIP lounges, or be it access. But we have worked consciously to shift the narrative towards something more quieter, deeper, and more human. For us, luxury is presence, it's relevance, and it's the feeling of being truly seen and gently transformed. And holding on to that clarity through every touch point, every journey, every conversation is both our challenge and our commitment.
Very interesting. I also love what you said about having invested in your people and that they the heart of your business. Because in this kind of business, having that personal experience, having empathy, knowing how to deal with clients is must be critical to the success of your business. And that makes sense that is where you've also made sure to invest.
Absolutely. And, more so in today's digital world with the AI coming in the forefront of all things that are happening globally, we feel that the human touch or the personal element within the luxury travel space cannot be supplemented by an AI agent or by a digital pot, because I feel that at the core heart of luxury travel is the person who actually, is the human touch, and the person who actually handholds each and every request with empathy, care, and love.
Absolutely. You cannot replace the human touch with AI, there's no doubt. For somebody who might be listening to the podcast who is an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to start on their own, what advice would you offer for them?
I was reading an article and I was actually going through podcast earlier today, and they were talking about the top 10 billionaires in the world, and there were names such as Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos that actually cropped up. There was this person who was asked that what do you think is the commonality between all of them and what would account for each of their successes. So without even blinking an eye, the only word that this person actually used was passion. I think, I cannot resonate more with that word. I feel that if you're passionate about something and if you put all your heart into it, there is no looking back. Yes, it does sound cliched, but this is how my journey started. And this is an experience share that I would like to give to your listeners, that had I not been passionate about what I'm doing, I wouldn't have been able to reach where I am. So that is in the short version of what I want to say, is that passion moves you, but over and beyond, in today's day and age, entrepreneurs need to, look within. They need to start with the truth, with what actually is their inherent desire, what is the gap that they see in the world that they can fill with integrity and honesty. And once they start with that, how do you protect your idea with a lot of soul and a lot of nourishment? Once that is established, then you basically need to scale with genuinity. It's easy to chase what's trending, but longevity comes through authenticity. Create something you're proud of, even if you feel that it is going to take a long time to hone where you want to reach. But always remember that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Excellent. And from somebody with that's been successful and have had the experience that you have, this advice is truly valuable. So as you mentioned, passion, finding the thing that you are passionate about, which is what you did, and then also to find a gap that you can fill, and then also making sure that it's authentic. Excellent. Some good tips there. Thank you very much for that. So what's next for you and for Lush Escapes? Do you have any exciting destinations or collaborations that you are working on?
Yeah, so a lot actually is going on. Every year we, start with a vision board. 2025 has been remarkable year for us so far. We have definitely achieved a lot on the product development side, as well as some great reviews coming from our clients who have been on soul searching journeys. But in a nutshell, we are definitely expanding with our legacy journeys. This is a product that we have curated for young learners. We're launching private island residences across the Caribbean, Indian Ocean belt, and French Polynesia. We're also building on our Gen Alpha travel concepts, which are designed around creativity, connection, and consciousness for the next generation. And more importantly, we are still wanting to be committed to keep the brand human, soulful, meaningful, and not go to the depths of how the world is becoming a digital village.
Sounds amazing. You definitely have some exciting plans to look forward to. It sounds fantastic. Now we've come to the segment of our show where I will ask you some rapid fire questions, our version of a game show. Are you ready?
Go for it.
The most inspiring destination you've ever visited?
New Zealand.
Fantastic. One luxury you never travel without?
It will be my phone.
A hidden gem destination everyone should know about?
Bhutan.
Your favorite travel quote or mantra?
Travel like there's no tomorrow.
In one word, how would you describe Lush Escapes?
Soulful.
And what is one thing that you do every day, no matter how busy you get?
I fold my hands and I pray and I thank God.
Thank you for playing along. That was easy enough. Now I would like to ask you our signature green pill question. What was your green pill moment? The action or event that was the turning point for you or your career?
My green pill movement was quiet but defining. I was sitting in my office during my time in banking, staring at spreadsheets full of numbers but void of meaning. And in that moment, I realized I had been living someone else's version of success. I thought back to my childhood love for geography, my fascination with maps, and the joy I felt helping my family discover new places, not just physically, but emotionally. And I think that was the pivot. I didn't want to just book trips, I wanted to design journeys that made people feel something. And that moment of inner clarity became the foundation for Lush Escapes. And from that point on, I have never looked back.
An amazing green pill moment, realizing that you're living someone else's meaning of success and not your own, and then making that choice to follow a different path and to follow your passion. Absolutely amazing.
That was the inflection point behind all of this. And I'm so grateful and I'm so humble and I'm so thankful to everybody who's been a part of my journey, especially my team, especially my colleagues who have been relentlessly working alongside my passion to hone and to make Lush Escapes go where it intends to in the near some time.
Abhishek, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your incredible journey, your passion for creating soul-stirring travel experiences, and your commitment to sustainable, meaningful exploration are truly inspiring.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we wrap up, where can our listeners learn more about Lush Escapes or connect with you online?
So we have a fabulous online portal, lushescapes.com. You could visit and you could see a plethora of experiences that we curate for avid travelers. So that would be the starting point. Over and beyond that, we are also very active on Instagram, and the handle is called Lush Escapes. And obviously by email, we can be reached at travel@lushescapes.com.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And we'll also put that in the show notes.
Right.
And to our audience, thank you for tuning in to the Matrix Green Pearl podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and join us again next week for more stories from visionary change makers. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and travel with purpose.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.